Good evening and welcome to Bear News. On tonight's episode, we have some exciting news for UNC graduates.
Bear News reporter Quinn Hodge will also join us this week with a complete story about popular crime shows and what intrigues people about them. All that and more only here at Bear News.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Austin Sack, and let's jump right into this week's episode of Bear News.
I'm Catherine Stala, and we'll start off with how much we like to watch crime shows on TV. We see it all through our culture, an obsession with crime and killers. From real killers like Ted Bundy to made-up ones like Dexter, there's a ton out there to watch, read, and listen to. This week, Bear News reporter Quinn Hodge looked into crime in the media and is here with us in the studio to tell us how some UNC students feel about it.
There are so many movies, shows, podcasts that talk about these somewhat disturbing topics. If you'd like to learn more about crime, there are certainly a lot of places you could go to find out more about it. A fan favorite and winner of the 2020 People's Choice Awards for podcasts, Crime Junkie, is one of my absolute favorites. Sophomore journalism student Cynthia Cortez shares this sentiment with me.
Well, I've always kind of liked true crime because I watch a lot of shows. Now that I think about it, I do like like Law and Order, Law and Order, SVU, 911 is a super good show. But I watch shows like that, so I'm like, I'll probably like this. So I started listening to Crime Junkie, and then I finished catching up with Crime Junkie, so I was like, I need a new show to listen to. So then I was scrolling through, and then I found And That's Why We Drink, so I just started listening to that one.
These podcasts tell different stories every episode, but another very popular podcast does this in a long-form style. Serial was released in 2014 and was the first introduction to true crime for many people. On top of podcasts, there have been many movies, TV shows based on these killers and crimes, real and fictitious. Movies like My Friend Dahmer and multiple films about Ted Bundy are on Netflix, as well as documentaries about killers and criminals. I personally love a good crime podcast, and I don't think I'm alone with this love on the UNC campus. Live in the studio, this is Quinn Hodge, Bear News.
And one of the most popular television shows for years has been CSI in its various locations and formats. So crime doesn't pay, but shows about crime seem to.
Congratulations to all UNC graduates. Both graduate and undergraduate students received some exciting news. The spring ceremony will be in person and will consist of 4 ceremonies across 2 days. The ceremony schedule is as follows. On Saturday, May 8th, the College of Performing and Visual Arts and the Kenneth W. Monfort College of Business will meet from 9 to 10:30 a.m. The College of Natural and Health Sciences will follow on the same day from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. On Sunday, May 9th, the College of Humanities and Social Sciences will meet from 9 to 10:30 a.m. The College of Education and Behavioral Sciences celebration will also be on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. The university hasn't said how many audience members can attend for each graduate, so UNC will also stream the ceremony on the commencement website for guests and all those unable to attend in person. The application for graduation and to be a student speaker has already passed, but the rental order for cap and gown is officially open. If you plan to graduate, you have to finish your cap and gown rental order form before Thursday, April 1st. You can find the order sheet for cap and gown rental on the UNC website under commencement, and congratulations, graduates.
The Humane Society of Weld County is one of the few places that hasn't seen a lot of change since the onset of COVID-19. Bear News reporter Sophie Deutschman explores recent changes and explains the BARCAT and TNR program.
Masks are required inside of the building for patrons, workers, and volunteers. Only 5 patrons are allowed inside of the building at a time. Adoptions and visitations are still encouraged because the top priority is finding a home for every animal in the shelter. The number of active volunteers has dropped from around 50 people to 20 people. The number of adoptions has actually increased. Last year, around 2,000 animals were adopted. Adoptions can range from 120 animals to 250 animals every month. Community Engagement Coordinator Bria Pritchard stressed the importance of being emotionally and financially ready to adopt.
We had this little chihuahua get dropped off I want to say it was about 3 weeks ago. And she was having like urinary incontinence in the house. She wasn't able to hold her bladder anymore. And they were like, well, we just don't really like her anymore. And we don't know what's going on with her. So here you go, and handed her over to us.
Greeley and Evans both have huge numbers of stray and feral cats. When these cats are brought to the Humane Society, they are given two options. They can be put into the Barn Cat or TNR program. In the Barn Cat program, the cats will be spayed or neutered, vaccinated, and adopted into a home where they can live outside. The owner promises to provide food, water, and shelter and keep the cat up to date on vaccinations, but the cat will mainly be left alone. The TNR program means the cats will be trapped, neutered, and returned to their previous location. This ensures that the population is not harmed, but it will not rise. Pritchard explained what a normal day looks like at the shelter.
Every day we come in pretty early. We're here at 8 o'clock, and we get all of the animals, we get them fresh blankets, we clean out their kennels, we wash every single food and water bowl every morning, we top everything off, and once cleaning is done, that's when staff starts to do what we call daily enrichment.
The Humane Society of Weld County is open Monday through Friday from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. or Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reporting from Evans, Sophie Deutschman, Bear News.
So the Humane Society of Weld County continues to perform an important work, though it's not one that many people see. If you're able to adopt a pet, they'd love to hear from you. After the enjoyable warm weather this past week, we're excited to see what next week's forecast should bring. And our weather show looks a little different this week as we have Kiera Biggers, who is also studying meteorology. Kiera can give us a peek at what the weather have us in store for us.
Well, Kate, today is definitely different than the last few days. Today is actually really cold. Myself, I was actually cold walking into the studio today. Looking outside, this was taken at the UC. So mostly cloudy. The sun's finally trying to make an appearance after a very cloudy day today. But lucky for us, the warm weather and the sunny days are coming back. I'll have more of that when we come back. Back to you.
Thanks, Kiera. Despite being full-time students, many UNC Bears also work a part-time job. This week, Bear News reporter Jordan Sherman looks at students who have kickstarted their careers by creating their own small businesses.
Camille Foster is a senior at UNC studying international affairs. She's not only preparing to graduate in May of this year, but is a social media manager for two small businesses located in downtown Golden.
I started out as a social media ambassador for the university, and then when COVID hit, I started doing pro bono social media management for a small business in downtown Golden.
She does product photography for her clients and schedules posts for their social media accounts.
So both of my parents are small business owners, and I've worked for small businesses almost my entire life other than my time at the university. So when COVID hit, I was very much aware of how they were being affected and how little business they were getting.
By reaching out to someone in need of help, she prevented a small business from potentially shutting down due to COVID-19 restrictions.
I think if you're interested in becoming a social media manager, just go for it. You really just have to jump in and try it out and see what works and what doesn't, and just utilize all of the resources that you can find online because there are so many.
Anyone interested in starting their own small business can find information on the internet, from blogs to YouTube channels talking about social media or any other area of interest.
So people can reach out to me on Instagram at camille.marie5 or my email, which is camille.foster99@gmail.com.
Reporting from the University of Northern Colorado, I'm Jordan Sherman, Bear News.
It's great to see student self-starters, and we wish them luck. If you want to learn more about Camille's mission, you can follow her on Instagram at camille.marie5 and click on the link tree in her bio. When Bear News returns, we take a look at bringing awareness to eating disorders.
We also have an informative story about the ongoing violence in Greeley. We'll be right back.
The last week of February is important for multiple reasons. The end of February celebrated the last week of Black History Month, but it's also dedicated to eating disorder awareness. Bear News reporter Shelby Irwin dug a little deeper beyond those who helped promote Eating Disorder Awareness Week. UNC professor Jeff Gillis was one of the dietitians involved in an event titled Ask a Dietitian. Professor Gillis defined what he believed eating disorders are and what your first steps should be.
Disorders are, very psychological conditions. Start there, start kind of working through why it is that you have this eating disorder, because there's definitely a mental reason to it.
As a dietitian professor, Gillis gave some advice to help you change your habits for the better.
A lot of people are like, well, I want to be healthy, and so you want to do it in a second. It's like, tomorrow I'm healthy, and I'm healthy for the rest of my life, and this is the new me. That's too fast of a jump. We got to really ease into it.
Peer educator Elliot Sutton agreed to share his perspective for Eating Disorder Awareness Week. He's one of many who helped pronate and coordinate for the week.
A lot of good experiences during EDA, like connecting with students and just opening the door to talk about something that's so hard to talk about. College students disproportionately experience food insecurity, and we know that people who experience food insecurity are also at higher risk for disordered eating.
If you believe you or a friend may have an eating disorder or would like to speak with a counselor about that or any other issue you may face, please contact the Counseling Center on the UNC webpage.
The onset of the COVID pandemic hasn't meant the end of violence in Greeley. Bear News reporter Kendrick Trujillo sat down with one student who told about the close encounter she had.
All of a sudden I heard these really two loud bangs, and of course I was like, oh, fireworks, because I've obviously never been around any type of gunshot or whatever. It's a bullet fragment because on a Halloween, my car got shot twice, and it hit the side, and then when I took it to a dealership because I had other problems, they noticed that there were a couple bullet fragments also in my right taillight, and I think we got to really work on how do we make it safe, and I think we need more ideas of that, because right now, there's they're like, oh, here's some resources, but I don't really see a lot of action besides people just being huge resources. I think we really need to go out in the community and really connect with people.
If you ever find yourself in a dangerous situation, never hesitate to dial 911 or contact the Greeley Police Department. Yet another way you need to be safe out there.
Films can be a great way to learn history and have an entertaining night out. UNC's Black Student Union finished up February with a screening of The Judas and the Black Messiah. The event drew a socially distanced crowd to the University Center to watch the story of Fred Hampton and the Illinois Black Panther Party. Many attendees found the film educational, like the BSU treasurer A. Lee Gibbs.
No, I wasn't familiar. This was new to me. But I enjoyed watching it. It was real information.
The FBI's infiltration of the Black Panthers and ends with Hampton's assassination. The movie story has already netted star Daniel Kaluuya Golden Globe. BSU President Joshua Greer found connections between the film and his students at UNC.
For me personally, me seeing it, like I said, since I've already studied it, I already knew the whole background with Fred Hampton and William O'Neill. So it brought something to life for me that I was able to study for so long. I think that the actors did a tremendous job within the film.
While February might be over, there are still plenty of ways to study and celebrate Black history. Later on in the show, Bear Sports anchor Aaron Schmidt has news about a first for a UNC sports team.
When Bear News returns, Kiara will join us with her full weather forecast. All that and more when we return.
3 out of 4 Americans know little to nothing about heart valve disease. Yet 11 million Americans are affected by heart valve disease.
If you have symptoms, please don't delay your care.
Physicians are trained to listen to the heart and detect any abnormal heart sounds or murmurs.
Heart valve disease usually can be treated successfully in all patients, regardless of their age, race, gender, or ethnicity. The key is getting properly diagnosed and treated in time.
Please look after your own hearts. You have a lot of living to do yet, so enjoy it.
Act now.
Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart.
Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart.
Listen to your heart.
Listen to your heart.
Go to valvediseaseday.org to learn more.
Temperatures in the 60s in early March, it makes us think of spring, but is that too much to hope for? Like we told you earlier, we have a new meteorologist with us today. To let us know, Kiara, what does the weather look like for next week?
Well, taking a look at the rest of Colorado, Grand Junction, 49 degrees, the mountains, 31, 36 degrees, Denver, 41 degrees, and then down south, 51 degrees in Pueblo, up north, 41. Right now in Greeley, high of 44, low of 27 degrees later on tonight. In a couple hours, it is expected to rain, so please have your coats if you're going outside later on. Taking a look at our surface analysis for today, we have a stationary front reaching from the north all the way out into the Atlantic, and then Kansas, parts of Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, chances of rain, and even chances of thunderstorms. Looking at Colorado, we do have two low pressure systems bringing in that mixed precipitation of rain and snow. Snow mostly in the mountains and reaching back into Utah. Looking at Friday, high of 58, warms up quite a bit, our low of 24 degrees, and what do you know? Sunny skies. Taking a look at our surface analysis for tomorrow, that cold front reaches down into the southeast, bringing rain down into the Gulf states. Even chances of thunderstorms in Dallas, parts of Louisiana, Oklahoma. There's a couple high pressure systems, one in Idaho, Wisconsin, and then Denver. The one in Colorado is going to bring us those warmer skies leading into the weekend. And then that low pressure system down in Texas with that cold front pushing into those storms. Our weekend forecast, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 63 degrees. Saturday, Sunday, 65. Monday, 64 degrees. Our lows, 31 degrees Saturday, 30 Sunday, and 32 degrees Monday. Partly cloudy skies on Saturday, but that's still a good day. And what do you know, sunny skies Sunday and Monday. Altogether a good weekend. If you can, go hiking if you can. Come back next Thursday, I'll be here. And back to you.
Thank you, Kiara, for that wonderful report. After this short commercial break, Aaron will join us again in the studio for a look at all things sports. We'll be right back.
What's more dangerous? A man who isn't afraid of death or one who's found everything to live for? I asked him if he was proud of me. He emphatically said yes, as he laid his pecan-colored head on my chest, and I went through my mind 1,000 times to figure out what that could possibly mean, and every single example ended in motivation for me. So you may not be afraid to die, but I'm more afraid to let them down. And I found something to live for, which is a dangerous motive forever fueled. See, your thoughts may be involuntary, but my actions are very calculated. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. My sons ain't raised by no coward, and they won't be one either. If this be the measure of a man, the yardstick gonna need way more meters. I take it too far, so they never come up short, because I found everything to live for.
So, sports reporter Aaron Schmidt is here to bring us up to date on the women's swim team. Aaron, how did the team do at the WAC Championship?
Thanks, Kate. UNC's women's team had one of the strongest performances of the year at the WCA Championship as they took down Colorado State 113-91. They captured the first dual win over the Rams in program history. The Bears took first in 9 of the 13 contested events as Anna Austin led the way. Austin posted a season-best time of 10:33 to reach the wall first in the 1,000 free, while also earning the top spot in the 500 free. Freshman Shalane Van de Westerhuizen added an individual win in the 100 breast, while Anna Likkonen took gold in the 50 free. The Bears have to travel to Elkhart, Indiana for the National Invitational Championships on March 11th in hopes of posting another historic performance. And Nikola Jokic has 50 career triple-doubles, and he's recorded 9 this season. He picked up his 49th and 50th just this past week. He posted 19 points, 13 assists, and 11 rebounds when the Nuggets beat the Oklahoma City Thunder on Saturday the 27th, 126-96. Jokic just about picked up another triple-double when the Nuggets took on the Chicago Bulls on March 1st. He put up 39 points, 9 assists, and 14 rebounds. He missed it by that much, but the Nuggets snuck out of the United Center with a win by a 118-112 score. Jokic recorded his 30th double-double of the season and his 222nd of his career. And the 50th triple-double came on the road Tuesday night against the Milwaukee Bucks. Jokic was on fire again, pouring in 37 points, 10 rebounds, and 11 assists. And to top it all off, the Nuggets won easily, 128-97. Well, with spring training baseball underway, the Colorado Rockies won't have one of their best players on their roster this year. According to Sports Illustrated, Rockies center fielder Ian Desmond opted out from playing baseball again this year due to COVID concerns about the pandemic, being a father to his 4 children. Last season, Desmond joined 21 other players to opt out of the season during the early stages of the pandemic. But Desmond is the only player so far this year who won't play this season. It will be very interesting to see how the Rockies respond to Desmond gone for the season. And Austin, if I were the Rockies, I would sign Jokic because he's been throwing some dimes out there lately.
You said it, Aaron. I mean, with a star like Jokic already capturing so many Denver Nuggets hearts, what's a few more Rockies fans, am I right?
Honestly.
Well, we can't wait to have you join us again in the studio next week, Aaron. That will conclude this edition of Bear News. Don't forget to follow us on our social media accounts at Bear News UNCO.
We'll be back right here next week for the next episode of Bear News. Thank you and good night.